Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Oh, we've got a fun one for you today. If I roll this page down, we've got an image there and it's got 4 little icons and buttons that you can barely see on top of it there. If I roll over it, it's going to go darken down, those are going to highlight. You can click on the button. If I move along, it's going to do that. I've got this image split into 4. Really easy to do. Nice little eye-catching thing to have on your website. No coding involved in this today at all. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work. I'm going to add a new row, little green button. I'm going to pop 4 columns in my row. Obviously put as many or as few as you need. And in it, I'm going to put a blurb module. Just move this over here and roll this up so you can see. I'm only going to use a title in mine. It's up to you whether you want any content in yours or not. I'm going to get rid of my content. And let's say local food or something like that. I'm going to pop that in the middle. Easiest way is just to roll over it. The little paintbrush icon comes up. Click on it, it'll take you right there. I'm going to pop it in the middle. Fantastic. Well, I don't want to use an image, I want to use an icon. So I'm going to go back to my content there. Image and icon should just below the text. I'm going to hit the use icon button. And let's search for food. I'm going to use that little fish right there. Great. I'm going to leave that just like that. Okay, and underneath this, I'm going to add a little call to action button so we can take people to wherever you want to take them. So I'm going to click on the little dark button for a new module. There's a button module right there. Put whatever you want the button to say there. And if you look down below, you've got a link. Put where you want to take your visitors there. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Okay, the only other thing I want to do is pop that in the middle. I'm going to go over to design and alignment. And I'll style these a bit more in a minute. Okay, let's find the image we want and put it in the background. And the way this works, this is going to go into the background of our row just here. So if we go into the row. Under content, I'm going to roll down to background. You've got color, gradient, image, video, background pattern or background mask. I'm going to add a simple image there. Click on the little plus sign. Grab whatever image it is you want. And pop it in there. Now we haven't got much space above and below our little row there. Or none at all on the bottom there. So I want to give it a little bit of space. I'm going to go into design. Spacing. Margin. I'm going to add another 10 to the top there. I'm going to leave it about 30 on the bottom. You may not need to do this. Just the way I've got my page set up. Okay, well let's save that. Now let's make this the way we want it. So I'm going to go into my little blurb module here. All that I'm really going to do to mine is go over to design. Going to go to text, that'll do the icon as well. It's already in the middle, but I'm going to make sure it's going to stay there. I'm going to change it from dark to light. And I'm going to make that icon a lot smaller. Still in design, if we close up text, roll up just above it, we've got image and icon. Icon color's fine as white. That's fine on the top. I'm going to take mine down to maybe 30 pixels. Perhaps a little bit more than that. Say 50, that'll do nicely. And the title there, again, if you just click on the little paintbrush icon, it'll take it to you. If you want to change it, you can do. I might make mine semi-bold actually. And if you want to, you can adjust the line height to close the gap a little bit. At the moment it's on 1M, we can probably take it down. So it's a little bit more. 0.1 probably. That'll work for me. Great. Let's save that. I want to go into my button there. Hit the little cog. Let's bring this over here. I just want to change the color of it. I really don't want the little icon there. I want to make the text a little smaller and just have an outline button. So in design, I'm going to go to the actual button itself. Use custom styles. I'm going to flip that to on. I'm going to take my text size down to about 14 pixels. That's a little bit more like it. Button text color is fine. Button background. At the moment we've got that purple on there, but I want to take it away. So I'm going to make it transparent. But I do want a little border. So if we roll down, we've got border width. Make it 1 pixel, I think is going to work for us today. I think I used 2 above. Again, that white color is absolutely fine. I want to take the icon away, so I'm going to roll down and just take the show button icon. I'm going to turn mine to off. That's great. Well, it's all looking like I want it to look now. So let's adjust it size-wise. I'm going to save my changes here. I'm going to go into my row, the green tab. And I'm going to go into the column that this is in. There's the first column. I will go over to my design, down to spacing, padding top, I'm going to give it, say, 20%. Obviously, you adjust yours how you want to. I think that's what I used above. Let's just roll this up. Maybe use 30% above. Let's do that. I'll turn that into a 3. And about 5% on the bottom. Obviously, got to make yours your own. Put whatever you need in yours. I think that's going to work for me. You see a lot of that image there. Great. Well, I'm going to give this column a little border as well. So just down below, we've got border. I'm going to do all my sides at once. You can do top, right, bottom, or left separately if you want to. I'm going to make mine 1 pixel. You can see it right there. I'm going to make it white in color. I'm going to take that opacity down just a bit so it's a little more subtle. So if you just click on the white, or click on the color, make it the color you want, click on the color field, you'll find this variegated slider. If we take it down, that's opacity. I'm going to take mine down to about 50%. So it's still there, it's just not quite as sharp. Now we notice we've got a gap at the top here and the bottom here. I don't want that. That's actually in the row itself rather than the column. So we'll adjust that in a moment. But while I'm in this column, I'm going to go to the content. I'm going to give it a background color. I'm going to give it a background color of black. And obviously that's way too deep. I want to be able to see most of the image through it when we hover over it, but I want it to be highlighted. And when the mouse is not on it, I don't want to see that black at all. Common to all Divi modules, if you roll over the dark writing up there, you'll see some little icons appear. If there's a little arrow, we can create a hover effect. Desktops, when your mouse is not on it, well, I'm going to click on that black field. I just want to see the image itself. Great. Then when we hover over it, clicking on the little arrow for hover state here, I want it to be black, but still want to be able to see some of it through it, so maybe 50%, something like that. That works for me. And the time it takes to flip from one to the other by default with Divi is 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick. I'm going to slow mine down for a bit of drama. To do that, let's flip back to desktop state. I'm going to go over to advanced, down to transitions. I'm going to change that to 300, which is default there. Let's make mine 3/4 of a second, so I'll say 750 milliseconds. Don't want any delay, want it to happen straight away. Transition speed curve. For my hover effects, I tend to use ease in out. They're all subtly different. Some will work better than others in certain situations. My ease in out is my go-to for my hover effects like this. That's fine. Now we gave this a little border here. I don't want to see that border at all unless we hover over it. So we'll do the same as we did with the background color. I'm going to go back to my design. I'm going to go down to border. I'm going to roll down. I'm going to go to the border color here. Roll up. Get the little arrow up once more. Desktop. Don't want to see it at all when the mouse is not on it. So I'm going to click on the color. take it all the way down. When we hover over, I'll make it white again. Click on the color, and it'll take that opacity down to where it was about 50%. Excellent. Now that should work. Okay, one last thing I want to do is I want this to be really faded. So there's a hint of it there so people know they can hover, but I only want it to become sharp after they hover. So still while we're in the column, still in design, we're going to go down to filters just below here, just under box shadow. We're going to roll down to opacity. Going to do the same thing, roll over the dark writing. Get the little arrow up, desktop. Take it down as far as you want. I'm going to take mine down to about 30%. So it's sort of, there's a hint of it there. Obviously adjust yours as needed. Then when they hover over it, I'm going to bring the opacity back up to 100%. Great. And that really makes the icon, title and button stand out. So let's save this now. And rather having to repeat ourselves with all of these columns here, what I can do is right click on the column we just edited. I can go down and say extend item styles. I wanted to extend it to the rest of this row here. And hit the extend button. Great. Well, I did notice we got that gap at the top and the bottom. So to make sure we can get rid of that, I'm going to go into the design. We're in the main row settings now. Go into sizing, custom gutter width. I'm going to turn that to on. I'm going to take it all the way to the left so there's no gaps between each of these columns now. And also, I'm going to close that one up. Go into my spacing. I'm going to make sure there's no padding on the top by putting a 0 in there. I'm going to hit the chain, make sure there's no padding on the bottom also. Great. So our columns should be taking up all of that real estate now. So let's save this. And we'll duplicate our little rows here. Looks like I've got to put a little bit of margin on the top of my button there. It's a bit too close now. I've taken any padding away from the title. So let's go into my button. Design. Spacing. Margin top. Let's keep that 30 pixels. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to duplicate these and populate these other rows. I'll do the first one and then we'll pause the video until they're done. So hit the two little squares to duplicate. Drag one of them over. And we'll do the same for the button. Drag one of them over. And of course you're going to want to go in. Change your title. Change your little icon. And go in, change the link for your button. I'll pause this now and I'll do the other two. And we'll come back and we'll test this. Okay, well I've just finished the last one there. If we've done everything correctly now, we should be good to go. Let's go down to the little purple button here. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's hit the visual builder. And let's roll down. There's our image. When I roll over, it's going to darken down. We've got our highlighted icon, title, and button they can click on. When we roll over, the next one's going to do the same. And that's a great little thing to have on your site. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them or make a little demo video just like this one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.